Getting ready to step into your career era? Set yourself apart with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Hone your skills with apps like Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere Pro, and more, powered with the latest in creative AI. Students save over 55% so you can build a portfolio you're proud of. Launch your future with Adobe Creative Cloud Pro for students. Visit adobe.com/students to learn more.
A message from McAfee. Wondering why the post office is texting you or why you owe thousands of dollars in toll fees? Because someone's trying to scam you. The good news? McAfee can help. With McAfee's award-winning scam detection, it's easy to tell what's real and what's fake over text, in your inbox, and online. If they're
You want a free gift.
Seriously? If they're faking it, they're not making it past us. Get award-winning scam detection today. McAfee.com/keepitreal.
Welcome to Your Call, presented by the Headset app, the sideline communication tool built for coaches by coaches. Today's guest is Coach Darrick Ware, offensive coordinator at Grapevine Faith Christian in Texas. With 18 years of experience across both private and public schools, Coach Ware shares a powerful perspective on one of the most overlooked aspects of building a successful program, partnering with parents. From setting healthy boundaries to harnessing their passion and turning them into advocates, Coach Ware lays out practical strategies for transforming parents from potential distractions into vital allies. Before we hear from Coach Ware, let's hear from our partner, the Headset app.
The Headset app, a communication platform for coaches that makes sense. After all the technology we need is already in our pocket. No more time-consuming setup, lugging around cases, storing equipment, worrying about range, or finding the right location for your base station. The Headset app is an encrypted voice platform that is compatible with any Bluetooth headset or earbuds. The Headset app is a more secure, reliable, and easy-to-use communication system, delivered at just a fraction of the cost. Just open the app, put in your headphones, and go. At practice, on game day, or whenever. The Headset app. Download in the App Store or on Google Play today.
Here's Coach Darrick Ware on partnering with parents.
Hi, I'm Darrick Ware. I've been coaching high school football for 18 years now. I've been a head football coach. I've been calling offense here now for the last 10 years. I've coached at big 5A schools and big 6A schools here in Texas, Lake Highlands and McKinney High. And I've been a coordinator even at the private school level. So I currently am coaching at Grapevine Faith Christian School. And man, I'm honored to get to be on here. I'm honored to get to talk about this. And it's something that I really wish that somebody would have shared with me when I was a younger coach. Just getting started, I felt like I kind of had to figure it out on the fly and made some mistakes along the way, as we all do. And so just to share it, I think is awesome. And what I want to talk about is harvesting the power of our parents. We all have had bad experiences with parents at some point in our career. Every single one of us has been standing on the sideline and feeling our phone buzzing in our pocket because some parent is calling us or texting us from the stands. And so how do we set up appropriate boundaries, healthy boundaries, guardrails for our parents? And then also, how do we harvest their passion to build our brand, to build the brand of their team, to help their own kids and all get on the same page working together? Yesterday, I was thinking about this talk. I was listening to a podcast. There's a clip from a Joe Rogan podcast where these guys were talking about soccer teams in Italy, and they have these super fans. It's like a firm. They call them the Ultras. These are super fans that follow the team and fight the other team's fans in the stands. They cause fights. They are cussing and yelling and throwing stuff. And one of the people on the podcast was talking about how, man, he can't bring his kids to a game because you don't know what you're going to see or hear. And he says in some occasions, it's so bad that they're called the Ultras. They'll barricade the stadium and not let their own team go home, not let them leave until the captain of the soccer team has met with the head of the Ultras and explains, why their team underperformed. And I was just listening to that and just thinking like, man, if those fans were directed in the appropriate direction, how incredible would it be? How beneficial would it be for that program if instead of fighting and causing all this chaos, they were, man, advocating for the team, supporting the team, donating to the team. If they were doing all those things, like how great that would be. And so the same is true with our parents in the stands. They are passionate about their kids doing well. How do we harvest that? How do we get our parents to serve our programs and to donate and to have healthy and positive relationships? So in the past, everybody does this. I think you have your meeting at the beginning of the year where you sit down with the parents and you talk about, hey, here are ways that you can help, and here are things not to do. Sure, none of you guys will do this. Don't do these things. And I've had those meetings and it didn't have a great effect until I really started to like put it on myself. I've got to teach. I've got to teach and have stories and examples for these parents. And don't just tell them, hey, it's not good to yell at your kids during the game, because they're like going, okay, yeah, whatever. We got to have stories and examples. And so now in my parent meeting, I provide stories for our parents and reasonings behind every single thing. You know, the first thing that I talk about in our parent meeting is the Dunning-Kruger effect. And so I got a slide here for you. That Dunning-Kruger effect just shows that sometimes, and I was like this as a beginning coach, when I first started coaching, my confidence level was really high and my knowledge was very low. I was 100% certain that I knew what I was talking about and I had no clue. And then as you progress in your career, the more knowledge you get, the more you realize, oh man, there's a lot more to this than I thought. There's a lot more that I got to learn. And you start to question, like, am I ever going to know enough? And then as time goes on, you grow along that slope of enlightenment and you get to a place where, hey, I have a high level of confidence that I know what I'm talking about and I actually do have a lot of knowledge. Well, our parents are oftentimes at the beginning of that part, they call it the peak of Mount Stupid. None of our parents are stupid. They are all awesome parents, but that's what it's called in the Dunning-Kruger effect, is you feel like you know a lot when actually you don't. And so one of the examples that I give, this did not happen at my current place, but all coaches have had this happen. All of us have, where some dad or somebody draws up a play and they hand it to you and they say, hey, this is a good play. You need to run this play. Imagine the level of confidence that you have to draw up a play and hand it to a coordinator who's watched 70 hours of film that week and has done all the practices and all the things. Hey, this play is going to work against this team. It's a high level of confidence. But then when you look at the play, you realize, oh, there's only 10 guys on the field. They don't have 11 guys there on offense. What do you want the line to do? How do you want them to, the line just blocks, I guess, And so it's like, man, I've been there. I was this way when I first started coaching, a high level of confidence, a low level of knowledge. And so I tell the parents, hey, it's really hard to have a high level of knowledge from being in the stands. And, as a football coach, I go to my own son's little kid football games and I'll sit next to some of these dads and these dads will turn and they'll say, man, what are we doing wrong out there? And as a fan, I'm going, I don't know, as I haven't been at practice. I haven't watched every single one of my son's practices. I don't know every single one of those kids' skill sets. I don't have enough information from the sideline of a little kid football game to be saying, hey, these coaches are doing a great job or they're doing a bad job. And so that's just part of the Dunning-Kruger effect. That's how I start my parent meetings. And I'll tell some good stories and we'll get some good laughs, but also it's going to be edifying because I'm saying, hey, look, parents, we love you and we really want you to be a huge part of our program. And so let's talk about some ways that you guys can get involved. How can you guys serve? And so we want to draw those parents in close. I meet with every single kid in our program and we fill out a paper and we talk about, hey, what are your goals? What do you want to get out of this year? And then I take that paper and I meet with the parents with it. And I say, hey, parents, I met with your son. Here's what we talked about. Here are some of the goals that he has. And some of them will be academic and some of them will be athletic. But one of the most important ones to me is I asked the kid, what do you want your legacy to be here? When you leave here, what do you want other people to say about you? And they write in incredible stuff in there. I want them to say that I was a great teammate. I want them to say that I left a place better than I found it. I want them to say that I was a brother to them. And I slide that paper to the parents and I say, hey, these are your son's goals. How do we help him accomplish this? And then the ending of that parent meeting is, hey, how can you guys pour into the program? Some people pour into the program with their time. They volunteer. Some people pour into the program by being an encourager, by lifting people up and being a brand advocate. going out and selling people on the great program that we have here. Some people pour into the program financially. They donate money. We have had awesome parents who built locker rooms and donated for a sound system and all types of great things. And so in the past, I didn't ask. I just kind of, hey, if they want to help, they'll come to me. Well, now I'm asking, how can you serve? And we've got a helmet crew. We've got Joe Lacey at Harrisburg High School. Man, that guy is incredible. He's always there to serve. And one of the things that he would do every home game is he would barbecue. He'd cook up some steaks and pork chops and mashed potatoes and all types of stuff. And that was served to our referees and to our coaches pregame. And so when you came to Harrisburg High School as a ref, man, you got the king's treatment. Steak in your locker room, and that was just because Joe wanted to volunteer his time and his effort and his money to help the program, and at Grapevine Faith, we have Steve Anthony, who does our video broadcast. And so he's just a dad who's like, hey, let me buy a laptop. Let me get the broadcasting stuff. And man, we're going to broadcast the game on YouTube and we're going to commentate it. And it's going to be awesome. And we're going to interview both coaches. It's going to be a real deal. And so just having dads that you have a list of items of like, hey, this is what we need, but we need a mom to be our team mom. We need dads to help coach 7-on-7. We need a group of people that will plan our banquet and plan our team building events. And so drawing our parents close. We've had parents who've been pastors at churches and we will have them come speak to our kids. We've had parents that have been great leaders and they'll come share their testimony. And so finding ways to really involve our parents. Now, early on in my career, I was hesitant to do that because I felt like, man, if you let them close and they behave poorly, it really causes more damage because now they're on the inside. And so we are very intentional about constantly reiterating our boundaries, the healthy boundaries, and constant reiterating like the why behind. We've got a list of like, hey, these are things that as parents we should never do. We should never yell at our kids from the stand. Why do we not want to yell at our own kids from the stands? I had a meeting with a mom one time where she's going, they know I love them. Yeah, I scream at them from the stands, but they know I love them. I go, ma'am, our starting quarterback threw an interception that wasn't really his fault, but you didn't know that, right? And how could you? You're yelling and screaming at him. He's coming to the sideline glassy-eyed because that was a really important part of the game. And I've got to get him to dry his tears and send him back out on the field so that he can go win the game for us. And do you really think that a kid is going to play again next year if every single game he's getting lambasted from his own fans? We talk about that. We talk about yelling at coaches. We want our place to be the best place any coach has ever been. When coaches come to our school, we want them to be like, man, our parents treat us incredibly here. The admin is great. Like, man, I'm never leaving. This place is incredible. And as parents, we want the best coaches. We want world-class coaches at our school. Well, our great coach is going to stay at our school. If we had a culture where we are going to scream at coaches and yell at them from the sideline, I see things on social media every weekend where there'll be some parents who are trashing some coach from some other school on Facebook. My first thought is, well, I'm not coaching there. I'll never coach at that school if that's their culture there. They abuse coaches over there. And that's brand damage. We want to have a brand that is positive, where coaches want to be there and love to be there. And so just finding ways to incorporate our parents into our program, to hold them close, to meet with them, to have conversations with them, to share stuff that we do, and also have healthy boundaries, which, we've got great parents and they have done incredible things that the program is better because of them. A couple other things that we do is I'll hold a meeting where I will teach our offense to our parents. And so trying to give them more knowledge so that they can better understand, hey, what we're trying to do out there. That's just a brief overview. You can reach out to me. My Twitter is DARRICKWARE. You can email me. My email is the same thing, my first and my last name at Gmail. But man, I'd love to hear your stories. I'm looking over here at these 7 things that we should never do. And I'm sure that we've all had all of those things happen. I'd love to hear your stories to add to it. I'd love to see what you guys do. But that's just a very brief overview of what we do as a program, just to help our parents, bring them close, involve them in our program, and for it to be a positive experience for all of us, our players, our coaches, and our parents. So thank you very much.
That was Coach Darrick Ware on Your Call, presented by the Headset app. The Headset app helps eliminate communication, streamline sideline operations, and stay connected when it matters most on game night. Learn more on how you can get started with the Headset app now within your budget in season at theheadsetapp.com. Thanks for listening to Your Call. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future episodes where coaches share lessons and ideas that can strengthen your program.